A new eyewitness has come forward to reveal that the Saudis have been hiding the evidence of the Exodus since at least World War II. This man was an American pilot who met the king of Saudi Arabia. Bob Cornuke was one of the first people to reach Jabal Maqla in the 1980s, and he recently interviewed that pilot and made the footage available for this video.
It's an honor to meet you.
Well, thank you.
Our lives have intersected possibly in something very historic. And we're talking about where the real Mount Sinai is located. And I had no idea that someone as far back as World War II would have seen the mountain and had been told that the mountain was the holy mountain of Moses. Did any of the Muslims tell you that that was a holy mountain?
Oh yes. I guess everybody in the military knew it was holy.
Yeah.
Well, it's forbidden me to fly around it. And it was off limits that I'd be killed either by God or by maybe some of them, I don't know. And when I took off, I was half scared to death. You bet I flew around it.
But it was different than the rest of the mountains because it was black on top?
Oh, it was a blackish green. It was dark enough to be somewhat frightening. You know what I really believe? I think it's Mount Sinai. I think God let me fly around it. That's what I think. I think He let you and me both live.
Why haven't we heard about this other candidate for Mount Sinai? Why has almost the entire focus been on the traditional site despite its lack of compelling evidence? Think about how many things line up with the biblical story right here at this mountain. There's a beach and path where the Red Sea crossing could have happened, matching the biblical account. You can see how the Israelites could have camped near Elim with its 12 wells and 70 palms. Along the way to Jabal Maqla, there's a split rock, an area suitable for camping. There's a mountain referred to as the Mountain of Moses, with a large plain in front of it where millions of Israelites could have camped. You can see an altar of uncut stone at the foot of the mountain, where there's evidence of burnt sacrifices, right where it should be. There's evidence of bull worship, and you can see exactly how Moses would have seen the golden calf worship going on as he came down from the mountain. There's a brook that comes down from the mountain just like the Exodus story says. You can see right where the cave of Elijah might have been. All of these little details have to fit, and they fit.
Okay, so here we're talking a little bit about the Battle of the Amalekites, and this is going to be very important as we go along. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my walk to put, just to tighten things up a little bit here, kind of wrap it up. And again, I think it's very important that we understand God's war in the spiritual realm and not so much as what's going on around us and what, we're, battling with our families today, because I know every one of us are battling with our families, and it becomes very tedious, it becomes it wears you down. So you need to pick your fights. Just pick your fights, Make your boundaries. Know what your boundaries are, and hold on to them. Now, I'm looking at all of this since I started this whole thing with the vials and the trumpet concerning the Euphrates River, the warning to the kings of the East, and the loosening of the four angels. And I'm really concerned about this, so I'm trying to get this out and so I can continue to move forward. But again, I have to put it together like this for now. Anyway, here we go. So there were certain attacks that I would get. They were different. They were not a supernatural attack or spiritual attack. There was just something about it that was so different. And the reason why I say that is because of the way it happened, where this thing, okay, it was one of the bigger battles that I had. And my headboard was right up against the wall. You couldn't walk by us. There was you couldn't do it. And what happened one night, I was sleeping, and it was like an arm that came out of the wall, and there was a claw, and it slowly came down to touch my body part, and it was then I was feeling the energy, and it was just so intense that once I realized what it wanted from me, I grabbed it by the arm and I pushed it away, and I was holding it back so it wouldn't touch me. And as I'm doing that, I just feel something, and it's like a whew, and gone. This thing that I'm holding on to, I'm seeing that I'm still holding on to this, but it's gone. It's not there. It was like a blink of an eye. And then it was following that I had a pull from the belly button right afterwards, and it was like an umbilical cord, and I was was pulling from me. And so I grabbed it and I started to fight, and again the same thing happens. It's just I know something's there, and it was like and it was gone. Now I don't know what that was. It was different. I'm still trying to discern what is happening here, okay, with these battles. But I'll tell you, these battles is where Jesus comes in and finishes them for me. Because I know for myself, there was no way I was going to be able to finish those battles at all whatsoever. None. Nope. And there was nothing I could do. Nothing. Other than just to fight with all I had against them. So with this, I know in truth that we are protected. Okay, there's no reason to fear the enemy. Okay. Okay. So as I'm seeking this out, I found that there was a shaman, and I was listening to him for a little bit, and I don't follow anybody, but this was a video of David Icke, and this shaman was talking about the reptilians and the reptilian agenda and all that sort of thing. But he was talking about mountains, and he was talking about when he said that these beings, these reptilians, said that we are your brothers, we are your brother, elder brother, something like that. And so I thought, okay, I'm just going to follow through with this. And so I started to learn about the geographic area, Africa, Ethiopia, because I have a few verses here up about Ethiopia, about Cush. And so I learned a little bit about them, and that the river went into the Garden of Eden. Again, I'm on the right track, because now I'm thinking, okay, I'm looking at Cain and I'm looking at Esau. I'm thinking, okay, Cain, he had the curse. I mean, you couldn't recognize Cain for being Cain. And then you look at Esau and see Esau's different in his appearance. He's got hair all over. His skin is red. Okay, so we've got the appearance that are different so I'm looking at the character's behavior, the mannerism, and the differences and similarities with Cain and Esau. But when I was looking into Esau, also did I find the verse where it explains the blessing, where Isaac gives the blessing to Esau. This is what I ended up with at that point, where I was saying, I believe that we are in the blessing of Esau. When we were looking at China and we were looking at certain things, Germany, I was looking at all of it, and I was thinking, this has got to be the spirit of Amalek that is covering China and Japan and European countries. And I've been very strong about that. So again, I'm going back to the spirit of Amalek. In order to understand that, you need to understand who Amalek is and who and where he's from. Okay, so I'm just going to go into this now here. I'm going to start with the verse that I received when I was looking for all of this. And this is what I got. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up, with explanation marks to both? And again, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, this is really strong with me, but I'm afraid to go there, but I'm going there. And here we have Cain, we have Esau, and the things that I battled with where it was important enough that Jesus would get involved and take that battle from me. That's something where you kind of sit up and you pay attention to the appearance and the mannerism and the characters. So I'm looking at those things that that time when I was attacked. And so okay, so they're all three different appearances to that. Now here I went further and I'm looking at it. Edom means red. Red is because Esau was born red, so Edom is Esau. All right, and the Germans, they worshipped Odin, which is coming and derives from Edom. And then Odin was also known as Kosh, which was again also in China, and it was the Edomites that gave rise to the ruling class of Japan. Here I believe that this was the sons of Esau who uh, were in Japan. Just there was not too many, but they were there, and they were a huge influence in the European countries and China and Germany especially. Okay, so I'm going to read this. And I hated Esau and laid his mountain as his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Okay. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places, And so we remember, right? We remember this, don't we? Where is that? Remember this? Okay. Now Obama says, we remember, we rebuild, we come back stronger. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished. Okay. That would be we remember. And we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of the wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. This is Malachi 1:4. So here we see Obama, Edom, and we see Trump, the border of wickedness. Malachi 1:3-5. And your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, the Lord will be magnified from the border of Israel. Amen. Declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times. Ancient times means ancient people, which are the Edomites. Okay? The things that are not yet done. So I'll read that again. Declaring the end from the beginning and from the ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. Okay, so before I want to move on here, I want to go over the word impoverished. We are impoverished, but we will return. Okay, so this is, again, I looked it up, and it's a debased language, all right? To lower position or rank, which I'm going to be getting into about the Dukes of Edom. To devalue, to lower value, to degrade. Okay. So you know that I talk about the Malevich, the black square. I've mentioned that. I brought that up. Explained a little bit about the no foundation. There's no foundation at all. It's pure darkness. Okay, so this was the Renaissance, okay? And this is a French word meaning rebirth. It refers to a European civilization that was marked by a revival and classical learning and wisdom. Now, this is what I would call the wisdom of Edom. Okay, this is what we're going to be looking into here. So I looked into the Renaissance. It means rebirth, and it means a revival of a renewed or renewed interest in something. Resurrection, the action or fact of resurrecting or being resurrected. And this would be, no different than Jonathan Kleck bringing up Egypt, opening up the doors to that. The revelation or the revival of something, okay? The reawaken with reference to a feeling or a state. Emerge or cause to emerge again. Awaken again. And the verse here, Psalms 137:7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. Recommence the process of coming into sight or prominence once more. Edom. Reemergence. Shall I not say in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding from the mount of Esau? Renaissance has saw many contributions to different fields, including new scientific laws, new form of art and architecture, and a new religious and political ideals. And this is what I got, from the debased language, and this is all coming back. The arts is a language. And I think right away of Malevich with the black square and the nothingness. And now we know what the nothingness in the Ayin is all about. And again, Amalek, going straight to Amalek. This is a Jewish paper. This is by John J. Parsons, www.hebrewforchristians.com. All right, and I read this through and I agree with a lot that he had to say, and so I'm going to read it out because he says quite a bit here, and it's okay, so it just makes it easier here for me. Amalek attacked the Israelites after they had mercifully crossed over the sea into the new life of freedom. Exodus 17:18. Spiritually speaking, the Amalekites aligned themselves with the wicked Pharaoh of Egypt, and therefore they sought to continue the war against God's people. Apparently, the Amalekites clan in Canaan was founded by a grandson of Esau. Genesis 36:12-16. Through Amalek is also described as the first among the nations, a man who even predated the time of Abraham. In Augustine's terms, Amalek represents the city of the world, whereas Israel represents the city of God. In Jewish tradition, Amalek represents pure evil, or those who have given themselves over to the dark side of impurity. Okay, I'm having a hard time pronouncing some of this stuff out, so I'm just going to go over it, but it's there for you to read if you'd like to, but I do apologize for that. Indeed, the name Amalek begins with the letter Aon, symbolizing the eye, and equals 240 in gematria. The same value for the suffix meaning doubt, okay, meaning haughty. Now, again, doubt is very, very powerful here, okay? Amalek, therefore, represents the eye, the evil eye of doubt, or even the severed eye. If you think about the battle at the Rephidim, that battle, like you can understand that there was doubt, and they questioned God. Okay, they were questioning him, and this was because of that power of doubt. Even though they saw the things that they saw with the sea splitting and all of it. They saw so much, and yet they still doubted. And that was the power of this. This was very strong. I said from the beginning, this is what Eve was up against in the garden. Okay, so Amalek represents the evil eye of doubt. Okay. When you remove Aeon from Amalek, you are left with Malek, verb that mean to chop off or to sever. Understood in this way, Amalek represents a spiritual blindness acting arrogantly in the world, and therefore the Lord vowed perpetual warfare against Amalek. The hand is on God's throne. God shall be at war with Amalek for all generation. Sorry. Concerning this verse, the great commander, Raji, noted that the term God's throne is written incompletely in Hebrew as Kiyah rather than, which suggests that God's rule will be incomplete until the powers of darkness are totally wiped off the face of the earth by the hand of Yeshua our Lord. See Revelation 19:20. Amalek embodies the principle of Heshim, the lack of the fear of God, and therefore represents the power of darkness and evil in the world. The Torah states that we must go out and fight Amalek, which is a call to ongoing spiritual warfare in our lives. We can't sit by and passively accept evil, nor can we ignore it or pretend that it doesn't exist. We must call evil by its name and exercise spiritual authority over it. The weapons of our warfare have divine power to destroy enemy strongholds. We are protected by the armor of God and the weapons of light. So I looked into this just a little bit, but I'm going to be getting into this really quick. But I just wanted to say that here again, Aeon, Hebrew meaning nothingness, unreal, related to the Eon not. It is an important concept in the Kabbalah. Okay, so this is what this is all about here, is the Kabbalah. Here we have like this here, this is, again, the symbolism here is no different than this. Okay, and this is Travis Scott's concert here. Okay. And here it says that's a level 4. Again, this is about wisdom. I don't know, and it says Yishmi Aeon from below and Yaon Mi Yish from above. And again, this is all to do in the belief system, in the nothingness. It's Cabal. Amalek, the wisdom of Edom. Again, I just wanted to show here, okay, the name is derived from the Middle Eastern, from the name of Esau, since the initial Ayin, transliterated as E in Esau, can be pronounced with a hard sound, Esau, under the name of Kosh. Again, bringing it all the way back here to Esau, the I. Okay, so I had to cut this off, so I'm not sure if I read this already, so I do apologize if I'm repeating myself here, but I am going to do it because it is important here. and I don't want to miss out on this. Okay, so here we go. So the area of Edom to the southeast of Judah also refers to as Seir, encompassed only a portion of the Edomites. Okay, so here, this would be Ezekiel 35. Then we turned and took our journey into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea, and the Lord spake unto me, and we compassed Mount Seir many days. But the Lord spake unto me, saying, Ye have compassed this mountain long enough, turn ye northward. And command thou the people, saying, Ye are to pass through the coast of your brethren, the children of Esau, which dwell in Seir, and they shall be afraid of you. Take ye good heed unto yourselves, therefore. Meddle not with them, for I will not give you of their land, no, not so much as a footbreadth, because I have given Mount Seir unto Esau for possession. Ye shall buy meat of them for money, that ye may eat, and ye shall also buy water of them for money, that ye may drink. For the Lord thy God hath blessed thee in all thy works of thy hand. He knoweth thy walking through this great wilderness these last 40 years. The Lord thy God hath been with thee. Thou hast lacked nothing. And in these last 40 years, I have wanted for nothing. I've had a good life. Okay. Here, I wanted to also just really quickly go over the dukes of Edom. Now, here we have, it says here, great military leaders appear to have been descendants of Esau. One of the characteristics of Edom is the hatred of the Jews all over the world. Okay, so again, this is very important because it is military. And I've always said China has been the leader in all of what is happening here today. They are leading. I believe they are the focal point that we're looking at here. So I'm just going to read this. I'll be getting into this a little later, okay, but I just want to bring this up real quick. Now, these are just notes that I wrote up here, so I'm just going to read from my notes. Esau's descendants are dukes, okay. A duke can either be a monarch ranked below the emperor king. The title comes from French dux into dux, or deuce, D-U-C, itself from the Latin dux, D-U-X, leader, a term used to the Republican Rome to refer to a military commander without an official title. Without an official title. Partly this is Germany and the Celtic origin, and later came to mean the leading military commander of a province. Think of Hitler. Following the reforms of Constantine the Great, which separated the civilian and the military administration of the Roman provinces, a dux, or leader, duke, became the military commander in each province. The title dux, duke, leader, survived in the Eastern Roman Empire, where it continued in several contexts, signifying a rank equivalent to a captain or a general. Later on in the 11th century, the title Magus Dux was introduced for the post of the commander-in-chief of the entire navy. Again, China in 2008, there was a lot of things that happened there, but they opened up with the navy in white. So they opened up with the waters. Okay, remember. The dux, the DUX, duke, was the highest military office within the province and commanded the legions. But the governor had to authorize the use of the duke's power. But once authorized, the duke could act independently from the governor and handle all military matters. In the Roman military, a duke would be a general in charge of 2 or more legions, While the title of duke could refer to a council or interpreter, it usually refers to the Roman governor of the province. As the governor, the duke was both the highest civil official as well as the commander-in-chief of the legion garrison within the province. So again, we have, like Italy here, we have the Mussolini, okay? He was a dictator, and he used the title of a duke to represent his leadership. This one here, his motto was the DVX, MEA Lux, Latin for the Deuce, Grand Duke is my light, or the leader is my light. Also, if you go down and you start looking into the Franks, okay, and the Franks in the Western Europe, it was ruled by the Franks during the Middle Age, early predecessor of the modern states of France, Belgium, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, and Germany. But they were very barbarian, what do they call it? The largest post-Roman barbarian kingdom in Western Europe. Again, the shadow, the covering, of the spirit of Amalek. The overshadowing is right there. Okay. Now I'm going to bring you to this man here, and I know a lot of people are going to have to take a step back with this, but please understand that the Holy Spirit of truth will walk you through all truth. So you have to believe and you have to trust in the Holy Spirit to guide you through their truth. Okay? But it's not to say that not to listen to what it is that they have to say. Okay? But truth does not come from a lie. All right? And again, I'm going to go into that a little later. I'm just getting ahead of myself here. Sorry. Okay, so here we have, this is a shaman from Africa. This is when I was looking into Cain and Abel, the differences and the similarities. Okay, and this was the man that was talking about the mountains and what was beneath the mountains, and he was going into it. I really thought it was interesting what he had to say. Okay, so there was things that resonated with me and there was things that didn't resonate with me. Okay, so I just want to show you that the Ayin, the A-Y-I-N, the I is ancient. It's very ancient, and so is the hand. Okay, so I just want you to hear this. You might not be able to hear it. Okay.
Let's concentrate on some of the images on the necklace and the symbols, because that leaves no doubt that a lot of knowledge has been around for a very much longer time than we are ever told. First of all, on the hand, I'm seeing the eye. Now, the all-seeing eye and the symbol of the eye is one the Illuminati use all the time. And it's one, of course, that was a very big symbol of ancient Egypt, the eye of Ra and what have you. Why is that eye there on that hand?
That represents the terrible eye of the Chitawuli, the eye which sees everything, the eye which knows everything. It is said that when a Chitawuli dies, he passes his dead eye onto his next of kin. And to the Chitawuli, an eye is a very, very powerful symbol. This is the eye of the Chitawuli. But there is more to this thing. Here there is a hole that goes right through the copper. Now if you put water in that hole, you end up with a simple magnifying microscope, and you can see germs.
Okay, I just wanted, again, to show you the hand, the eye, and what it represents to them, and about these, I don't know the name, what he's calling them, but the reptilian. Now, what I want to also show you here is this here. This was very important. Okay, where is it? Okay, so here you can see the flower. You can see this thing that he's talking about, the reptilian here, that he believes is underneath the mountains. Okay, and so does China. China, when they do the 2008 Olympics, they show it all to you that there is green underneath, green things. I call them green things, reptilians. Okay, we're getting there. I'm going to explain this. And then we have the ocean, we have the dolphin intelligence, we have the Navy SEALs, or the Navy, again, military here. We have the two mountains, and we also have the book of the Vonage book, okay, which I believe is the Vonage book. This is what this flower represents right here, the two mountains. Then we have this thing here that lives underneath, which he will tell you that they have said that they were our elder brothers. And this sparked interest in what he said when he said that. So again, we have the sun, we have the mountains that we're talking about right now. We have the book, the Vonage manuscript. We have the hand, we have again the eye. All of this knowledge here is Edom. This is what I believe as I'm looking at this again. This is all Edom. And of course you've got the red waters. You've got red. Okay? So the sea, the intelligence, the mountains, what's underneath the mountains. And again, the plants, the roots of these plants. This is what's important. This is the medicine. This could kill you or keep you alive. You know, the information that's in there. But I do believe that the book, the Vonage book, is very demonic. That's my belief. Okay? Again, the ayin, Malak, is to cut off. Okay, and I just want to show you this. This is again from the Vonage manuscript, and this was a missing page from that book. Okay, and this book's about 100 years old, over 100 years old, if I haven't mentioned that. Okay, so this again right here, the Vonage manuscript, the flowers, the roots of plants. Okay, so there you go. That's a missing page. And I also want to bring you here. Oops, not there. No. Okay, so after I saw the missing page of the Vonage manuscript, this is what I saw, and it was like this was the following, and I thought, wow, okay, so we're back at the caves. Now this is in Texas, okay, this is the location of it, and I just want to go over this real quick. Again, we're looking at something here that is round, and it has tentacles, I think that's what you would call them, tentacles. Okay, you see that? And it has like spurs coming out of the side, and then it goes down like this. So you see these lines everywhere, okay? But you see it descending. Like here, this one is descending. This one, I believe, is going up, ascending. And look at this thing here now. It doesn't have a face. It doesn't have like a proper human body or, you know. But I want to show you something here. Okay. Something is coming out of this thing, okay? It's coming out, right? Here in the wrist area. Also, I don't know if these things are shooting into it. There's these here shooting into this body or this frame of something that I'm not sure what it is, but it has hands, an arm, and it has legs here. It also looks like another squid coming out, but something's going on here in the private parts there. And again, we have this one here, but it has no head. Okay, there's no head here, but you have arms, you have legs, and you have these things coming either or going into it or coming from it. And then look at this strange one here. This one here, again, we have something coming out here, and then it looks like he's the glasses or blindfolded in modern clothes here. To me, that would be blue jeans and a black top. But again, this is what I'm seeing. And here we have a blindfold. Okay. Now these things are going into the body, and again, this is coming out of the body. Here. Again, this looks like it's descending, and this one is going up, ascending here. Okay, so here, this looks like, I don't know, like a circle, but it looks like something's dropping from it. Okay, so it's ascending, or, yeah. Okay, and then you could see here, this one here is upside down. Okay, they're descending. So they're going up and down. Okay, this one here. Again, this one's upside down. I don't know what's going on here. See, the same thing is coming out of the butt kind of thing here. Look, this right here. Okay, right here. Again, this thing looks like this thing. So something's happening to the lower area of the body right here and in the arms and wrist. And then we have these things here and this one here. Wow, like blindfolded, spiritually blinded. All these things here. Okay, so I've got to move on. One more thing I almost forgot. Now here, I just want to show you that you see how it's just kind of squared off here. There's no shape. There's no human shape or form to this. You've got something that looks like horns, something like would be, you know, a helmet, a mask of some sort. Okay. Well, I want you, I'm trying, well, not trying. I'm looking at this and I see a connection here with the Vonage manuscripts. Remember this? Look at behind here. You have the horn here, and it doesn't look like any kind of, you know, of a body of human, right? Yet it's got a tail, and it's got feet, and it's got the horns. Here, she doesn't have a hand, right? And she's got things spitting out of her ear, like it looks like this thing is inside of her cheek and spitting out the ear and coming out her mouth also. Here you have things coming out of the wrist, out of the arm. Same with this little one here. Something's coming out. The same with this here, this one in the corner. Okay, so I just wanted to put that, I just wanted to show that to you and put that together. Okay, now back here to Mount Sinai. Okay, going back to the battle with the Amalekites. I'm going to be reading Exodus 17, 8 through 16. Then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim. And Moses said unto Joshua, Choose us out men, and go out, fight with Amalek tomorrow. I will stand on the top of the hill and with the rod of God in my hand. So Joshua did as Moses had said to him, and fought with Amalek. And Moses and Aaron and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And it came to pass when Moses held up his hand that Israel prevailed. Then he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat thereon. And Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on one side and the other on the other side. And his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Joshua discomforted Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. Now here I just want to say real quickly that when Moses' hands are very heavy, I believe that Moses is under attack, a spiritual attack, with that heaviness that we all know and understand of the enemy. And it's, for me, I describe it as a wet blanket, just holding you down, and your eyes, you can barely hold them, you barely keep them open. They're just so heavy that they want to close. And this is what I believe was happening with Moses during this battle with Amalek. Again, this spirit of Amalek was very strong. And I believe that this was what was happening with Moses, no different than when, well, I guess that would be a little different with Daniel. Because when Daniel was in prayer for 3 weeks and Gabriel had said to Daniel that it took me 21 days to get here to give you the word so that you would understand the vision. Well, it was the prince of Persia that held back Gabriel, right? Until Archangel Michael came in and intervened. And this way, God's word got through to Daniel. This was a spiritual battle. And I was wondering, when I was thinking about this, I wonder what